y'all, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. Today is June 15th, 2018. It is a Friday afternoon. It is a Friday that we do not have any baseball practice tonight or baseball games this weekend. It is a Friday with only one child here, and I have some last minute packing for Zombie Apocalypse retreat, but it's going to be a family Friday night. I'm so excited. So I will do my best to get this uploaded so that you can enjoy it maybe on your Friday late night or Saturday as well. And I hope that that works out. I am going to give myself a week off of announcing a prize winner for the Get Suburban Cal, but I do want to remind everyone about that. Any project that you are knitting that you finish anytime in 2018 that uses at least 50% or more of Suburban Stitcher yarn is eligible to be entered into this prize thread. Just take a picture of it, tell us which yarn you used, and you could be entered to win a pattern prize. I always feature a designer as well as one of their patterns, and then whoever gets random.org picked out of that thread gets a pattern prize. So it's a lot of fun. It's easy, any size, it could be baby booties, it could be a washcloth, or it could be a sweater. So just as many times as you want to enter, go ahead and do that. One new post per entry. So I think that that's it for announcements and kind of administration things. I am feeling very fancy today. I just got my hair done. It's a little bit lighter, got the roots filled in a little bit. I feel like I have a nice working towards ash, but strawberry blonde. So this isn't getting ready for anything else. This is what it is. So it's been a lot of fun. I love doing different things with my hair. I'm just addicted to it at this point. So anyway, I have not two works in progress. I have more than that, but I have two finished objects. I went and looked back. I had not finished anything since March, since I finished my Suburban wrap, that seems ridiculous, but I had not. So I'm so excited. I have two things this week. The first that I will talk about, it's actually the second thing I finished, but it's the first thing I'll show you, is I finished the hat that I referenced last week. It is called the Maylene Hat, and it is in the first issue of Lina magazine. It's pronounced M-A-L-E-N-E. I think it calls for 3 yarns to be held together, 2 lace weight to light fingering, I forget what base they used, but it was lace to light fingering, and then they used 1 strand of the mohair. I pulled all from scraps. So what I had available to me that I felt like I wanted to use with what I had was Tosh Merino Light. So I used almost all of this color. This is Celadon, and this will probably just, I don't know. I don't think it's enough to do anything else with. It's like less than a gram. Maybe it's a gram. And then I have this color, which I can't honestly remember what color it is, but I used both of these. I used about 90 grams of Tosh Merino Light in this, and they were, like I said, they were both scraps. And then, the mohair that I used is Shibui Silk Cloud in the Pool colorway. I used about half of the skein. Their skeins are 25 grams. and I used about 12 to 13 grams of mine. So have half of it left. I can make another one if I felt like it, but I won't. I'll use it for something else. So here's the hat. As you can see, it has a very, very long ribbed brim. I actually even finished it short. It should be about this much longer, but I just was so over knitting ribbing. It's supposed to knit 8 inches of ribbing. I knit 6.5. So I did that. And then you have this like lacework top for the body of the hat. And the intent is that you roll this big brim up like that and wear it like this. So it kind of looks like a chef's hat or a muffin right there. Kind of silly. I'm gonna look over here just to put this on, but you can see that I need to take my finished object pictures today with my hair being all cute. So yes, so I'm happy with how it turned out. It is, I have not blocked it and I am not going to. It's very soft and floofy. I'm really, really happy with it. And I knit this with the intention of putting it in my gift box. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to give this one away. Both of the hats that I've knit this year with the intent of being in the gift box are going to be very hard to part with. So we shall see. But I know someone that loves these colors and would really, really like this hat. So we'll see. I loved knitting it, and I mentioned last week that I had thought about switching over my needle tips to a metal tip to be able to knit faster, and I didn't end up doing that, and it worked out fine. So I just really stuck with the project for maybe like 2 days. After I finished this other finished object that I'm about to show you, I pulled this out because I knew it was so close. I had just mentioned it and I thought, you know what, Diane, this is a hat. Hats do not need to linger. Like, hats are 2 to 3 day projects. No more than a week. It should be done. And so I finished it and I'm so glad I did. The other finished object that I have this week is really a long time coming. It is and this is blocked. I have not woven the ends, which is honestly very unlike me. But I haven't. So I finished my Clean Quaint. I think that's how you say that. It is a pattern by Lisa Much, of Northbound Knitting. And while I cannot say that this was like so addictive and amazing and just so the greatest knit ever, I didn't dislike it. It was just never the thing that grabbed my attention so much, because clearly it sat for almost exactly 3 years. I started it July 1st, 2015, and I finished it on June 11th, 2018. So clearly it was not addictive or the thing that I wanted to work on all the time. But it is done. It is enormous. So excited to have it done. It's in a very interesting shape. As you can see, it's like crescent shaped at the top. And then it has these little triangular teeth at the bottom that progressively get larger. And then this last one is the largest one. I did not alternate skeins, and I will tell you what I used. I used Fiber Story. That didn't show up well last time. There we go. Fiber Story Core DK is the base, and the colorway is Vague. It's 231 yards, 100 grams of 100% superwash merino. And I had this much left. I had about 13 grams from 3 skeins of DK weight yarn. And honestly, all of the skeins must have been overweight because the finished object itself weighs 298 grams. So, yeah, so they were clearly overweight because this is all I have left. I did not alternate skeins, like I said. I don't think you can tell, which is a minor miracle. With hand-dyed yarn, you just never know. And this is a multicolored skein. So yay, Fiber Story, for being awesome at Dye Lot. And yay, Loopy You, for sending me 3 skeins that looked like they matched, because they did. So yeah, for sure you can wear this, you know, in the typical, I really could even see myself, you know, bundling up like this. I have blocked this quite a bit, so it's nice and drapey. I could also see wearing this. That's what I just did. You could easily drape it this way, you know, over there. It's just an interesting, it is definitely warm enough for an over the shoulder wear. Warm enough and long enough. Kind of, I would probably center it, not center it, would off center it so that my arms would get some of this long triangle on this side, and then the actual just length of the shawl on that side to keep both arms warm. But yeah, it definitely works like that as well. So I'm just so pleased with this project. Could not be more excited about it. So those are my finished objects for this week. So as far as works in progress, it's actually been a little bit of a struggle for me to figure out exactly what to work on. I finished that big shawl first, and then I finished the hat second, and there was something about, I don't know if it was the wooden needles or the gauge that I was knitting this hat at or what, but my thumb right here has been a little bit sore since I finished this project. So I have not wanted to do a lot of ribbing, because anytime I'm doing a bunch of like needle / yarn management, that tends to, for me, it just puts a little bit of stress right here. So I thought, well, ribbing is out. And I have just kind of wanted like interesting knitting, but also can't really say mindless, because neither one of my, well, one is mindless, one is totally not. But anyway, the two things that I have pulled out as, at least for this week, the two things that I'm focusing on working on. The first is, well, of course, there's that sock blank sock that I will not show again until it's done, but that's just purse knitting, and it got maybe 10 rounds knit on it. I pulled out my second oldest, no, now it's my oldest project. That big shawl was from 2015, and this is the only other project other than blankets that I have from 2015 that's still outstanding. As of today, I still plan to finish this. I did a few rows on it yesterday and enjoyed it, and it was fun. I just haven't decided if it's permanently fun or not. If that makes any sense at all. Because I really, really would love the finished project, and I know that it's one that I'll wear. But yeah, so I'm still sort of in that, like, what do I really want phase of this project. Let me show you what it is. So, well, let's talk about the yarn first. The yarn is Madeline Tosh Prairie lace weight, 840 yards for 100 grams in the Rain Water colorway. It's a beautiful gray that kind of has some purpley blue hints to it. So the shawl that I'm knitting is called Be With You, because it was May the 4th. May the 4th, May the Force be with you. It was a mystery knit 3 years ago from Boo Knits, and it starts off with this stockinette panel and then works into the lace going down. There is some lace and beads. Let me scoot forward and show you. So there are some beads there. I picked beads that do not stand out so much, which will be nice and elegant. Yeah, so like I said, I know I'll love the finished shawl. I know that I will wear it. It's a nice neutral color. It will go with a million things, everything. I mean, gray, right? So it's just a matter of deciding that I want to sit down and knit lace and beads. Which I know I love, but I just don't have a lot of sit down and knit time that's concentrate like that time, I guess. So anyway, so that's one that I pulled out. It's sort of progress / maybe consideration, but I don't really know. Honestly, I just don't know where that one stands. The other project that I pulled out because I thought, well, I was going to bed last night and I needed something that was kind of mindless, like garter stitch when I'm sitting in bed, just need to, you know, knit without thinking pretty much. Garter stitch shawls are definitely what I go for. And when I was looking at Ravelry at my projects that I had that fit that category, I remembered that I started and actually have quite a bit done of this adventurous wrap by Amba O'Brien. That was her kind of Advent shawl idea, way to use the Advent minis that we all get in those calendars every year. And I pulled this bad boy out, and this is pretty fun. I'm enjoying this. I think it's a mindless knit, but it's a lot of color play. So that's kind of really ticking all of the boxes for me right now. So here it is. This is one half of it. This is the half that I worked on last night because it's the half that's the closest to being done. Yeah, I'm just love that fade. It's so pretty. And I did start the other half way back in December. And here's how this one stands. This one makes me smile because it's like a mini yet expanded version of my Find Your Fade. Has a lot of the same yarns, the scraps, but with some other things filled in. So I have both of them going. Ooh. Both of them going. You can see that this one is definitely larger, this one, than this one. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of knitting, a lot of stuff that's done. And like I said, it's easy, mindless, sit down and just knit without even hardly having to think. It's really great. So at least for right now, this one for sure, I have a feeling is going to be the one that at least for the next few days anyway, that I concentrate on. I still have to plan out what I'm bringing to work on at Zombie Knitpocalypse. You know, retreat knitting, you definitely need something. You need something sort of, at least I do, I need something sort of mindless. I am very much considering bringing 1 or 2 projects at the most, so that I'm basically forced to only work on those. I am thinking that might be my Sunset Highway, because that's at stockinette and I can just sit there and do stockinette, you know, forever. And then the other option is maybe that shawl, the adventurous wrap, maybe my everything shawl that's at brioche, easy brioche part, that's pretty mindless for sitting and chatting and knitting. Maybe a sock, I just don't know. So anyway, I don't know is basically what that boils down to. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll have to come up with something soon. I have plenty of projects on the needles to choose from. So that is pretty much it for my knitting this week. I don't think that I have any new, oh, I take that back. I do have one Hello Lovely. I have two things that I would like to share with you. One is, well, both of them are things that you can find and get, or get things very close to it. But I have really fallen in love with a new polymer clay marker, stitch marker, progress keeper company. It's Simply Serving. This is a new little logo for her. It's so cute. And this latest one that I got, I am just so excited about. It's so cute. It is a cupcake, but it's like a I don't even know, like seaside cupcake or beach cupcake. And I'm not going to be able to hold it to where you can see details, I'm sure, maybe, but okay. So there's a little pink clam on the top there. There's some pearls. It's just so cute. Like sand. It's so cute. So y'all need to go find her shop. It is just too adorable. And then the other thing that I got, that was a gift. I was sent these by a friend, and I will not say their name, just in case they don't want me to, I don't know. But we're planning a sew-along, and she sent me these 2 pattern books, and I'm so excited and so nervous about it for a couple reasons. One, I have only ever made, okay, well, let me show you what she sent first. She sent me these 2 absolutely beautiful pattern books. They're Japanese sewing patterns. One is called this, and then it says like koi or koi koi or something. I don't know. And then the other one is called this. Oh, I don't read Japanese. Okay, so there are a couple of reasons that I'm nervous. One, I can sew, clearly, but I only have done one garment, and it fit. It worked just fine, but it was very hard, and as we all do, I get nervous with new things, and I want it to be perfect, and I'm a perfectionist, and when it's not perfect, it drives me crazy. I have a machine that is great for production quilting and bag making and things like that. It is not great for garment sewing. So these may happen maybe if I go to Louisiana to visit my parents or something. We'll see. Or I could make it work on my machine. I can make anything work. I can do anything, right? Maybe. The other reason it makes me a little nervous is that Japanese women are very, very small. I am starting with a shirt. Let me show you a picture of what I'm starting with. And it is very loose, a tunic. And I'm going to make it like shirt length, it will not be like tunic where it's long. It will be, shirt. But this blue shirt is the first thing I'm going to make, and my friend who sent this to me is going to make one as well. And we're gonna have a little sew along and compare notes. So I know that I will be just fine. she has sewn some things from these books and has wonderful notes and encouragement for me. So I'm going to be just fine. I know how to sew. I know how to do hard things. It makes me nervous to sew for my own body. Really, that's where my insecurities come from, if we're being honest. So this will be very, very good. Good exercise in just accepting who I am where I am, right? And it will be super fun to have a couple of things that are new that I made. I would absolutely love to have that tunic, maybe. Oh my gosh, this is like the dream. I want this dress so badly. So badly. So maybe by this fall, I've got really several fall events that are knitting events that would be beautiful to have a new fun dress, or at the very least a tunic to wear to. And one event I will see this friend, and that would be so amazing for both wearing our handmade items that we made together, but long distance together. So anyway, that is that. Speaking of events, I want to kind of move into shop news. I have just uploaded a bunch of bags onto the new website, suburbanstitcher.com. So please make sure that you go over there and check that out. I am also in the process of uploading, for the first time ever, I had never uploaded the silky singles onto the website. That's my single ply merino and silk base that is dreamy and amazing and makes beautiful shawls and sweaters and whatever you want to knit. It is a single ply yarn. Again, it's 70% superwash merino, 30% silk, and it's so amazing. I will be loading that onto the website in the next day or two, depending on light today, to get some pictures of the last few things that need photos before they go up on the site. So those two things, bags and silky singles, will be up there. I am leaving for ZK, Zombie Knit Apocalypse, on Tuesday. The shop will remain open. My husband will be here shipping and taking charge of all things Suburban Stitcher while I am gone. So if you have questions or you order something, everything should still be running exactly on schedule as if I were here, because he is amazing and will be taking care of that for me. What else? I have some new colorways that are debuting at ZK that I'm so excited to bring back to the shop once that event is over. What else? I can't think of anything else. I had something in my head and it is poof, gone. I want to extend an enormous thank you to everyone who commented on YouTube and sent me the biggest virtual hugs and notes of encouragement and all the wonderful things. All of the wonderful things after last week's episode. I'm feeling much better. I was very down because it was hard to hear a lot of those things that people were saying to me in emails, but all of your comments lifted me up and encouraged me and inspired me, and I am just so grateful for this community. So thank you all for reaching out. I greatly appreciate it. I do want to remind everyone that the best ways to contact me are my email address, which is Diane. I am Diane with 2 N's, DIANNE at suburbanstitcher.com. That is the very best way to get a hold of me. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am Suburban Stitcher on Instagram. I just had a lovely giveaway for 3 skeins of yarn, a shawl set. So you need to make sure that you're following me over there. because I have plans for yet another giveaway. So we are almost at 11,000 followers on Instagram, and we're getting very close to 5,000 YouTube subscribers, which I cannot believe. So I'm so excited, and I hope that you all have a lovely few weeks, and until I see you next time, bye.